Cognitive Development Theory, Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget was a Swiss psychologist who studied how children think, learn, and understand the world around them. He believed that children are active learners who develop knowledge through their experiences and interaction with their environment. According to Piaget, children's thinking changes as they grow and pass through different stages of cognitive development. Main concept: Piaget identified 4 stages of cognitive development. Number 1. Sensorimotor stage, birth to 2 years old. Children learn mainly through their senses and physical actions. They begin to understand that objects continue to exist even when they cannot see them. Number 2. Pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. Children develop language, imagination, and symbol thinking. However, they may still have difficulty understanding another person's point of view. Number 3. Concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. Children begin to think logically about real objects and situations. They can understand concepts such as conservation, classification, and ordering. Number 4. Formal operational stage, 12 years and above. Children develop the ability to think abstractly, solve problems logically, and consider hypothetical situations. Piaget theory means that children do not think like adults right away. Their ability to understand and solve problems develops gradually as they grow and gain experience. For example, a teacher shows a child 2 glasses containing the same amount of water. The teacher then pours the water from one glass into a taller and thinner glass. A child in the concrete operational stage may understand that the amount of water has not changed even though the glass looks different. This demonstrates Piaget theory because the child is using logical thinking and understands the concept of conservation. A future teacher can apply Piaget theory by providing learning activities that are appropriate for the children's development level. Teachers should use hands-on activities, real objects, demonstrations, pictures, and experiences rather than relying only on explanations. Specific classroom example. In teaching mathematics to elementary students, the teacher can use blocks, coin, or other objects to teach addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Students can physically arrange and count the objects to understand the mathematical concepts. The most important thing I've learned from Piaget cognitive development theory is that children develop their thinking gradually and learn differently depending on their developmental stage. This is important for me as a future teacher because I need to understand my students' ability and provide activities that match their level of development. It also reminds me to be patient and give children opportunities to explore. Ask questions. That's all for Module 5. Thank you. But we proceed to Module 6. So continue. We continue. Social Learning Theory by Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura was a Canadian-American psychologist who developed the social learning theory. He believed that people, especially children, can learn new behavior by observing and imitating other people. Learning does not require direct experience. Children can learn by watching their parents, teachers, classmates, friends, or people in the media. Bandura later expanded this idea into social cognitive theory, which also emphasized self-efficacy, and the interaction between a person's behavior, thoughts, and environment. Main concept. Number 1. Observational learning. People can learn by watching the behavior of others. The person being observed is called a model. In my own words, children often learn by watching what other people do. They may copy good or bad behavior depending on what they observe. Number 2. Imitation or modeling. After observing someone, a child may copy or imitate the person's behavior. In my opinion, if a child sees someone doing something, the child may try to do the same thing. Number 3. Attention. The learning must pay attention to the behavior of the model. For me, in my own words, a child cannot learn effectively from something they are not paying attention to. Number 4. Retention. The learner must remember what they observe. In my own words, the child needs to remember the behavior so that they can perform it better. Reproduction. The learner must be physically and mentally capable of performing the behavior. For me, knowing what to do is not enough. The child must also be able to actually do it. Number 6. Motivation. A person is more likely to imitate behavior when there is a reason or reward for doing it. In my own words, children are more likely to repeat good behavior when they receive encouragement, praises, or another positive result. 7. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy refers to a person's belief that they are capable of successfully completing a task. In my own words, when students believe I can do this, they are more likely to try, continue, and succeed. A child named Juan observed his teacher always saying please and thank you when talking to students. Juan noticed that his teacher is respected and appreciated by the class. Juan being using please and thank you when speaking with his classmates. This demonstrates Bandura theory because Juan observed his teacher behavior, remembered it, and imitated it. The teacher served as a positive model for the child. Application to teaching. A future teacher can apply Bandura's theory by becoming a positive role model for students. The teacher should demonstrate respectful, responsible, cooperative, and hardworking behavior because students may copy what they observe. The teacher wants students to keep the classroom clean. Instead of simply telling students to clean, the teacher demonstrates the proper way to organize books, throw garbages into the proper bin and arrange their chair. The teacher then praises students who follow the example. This applies Bandura theory because students observe, then remember, then imitate, and receive motivation. Teacher can also demonstrate proper behavior before asking students to perform it. Use positive reinforcement and encouragement. Let students observe successful classmates. Encourage students by saying, you can do it. Provide opportunities for the student to practice what they are observed. Build students' confidence and self-efficacy. The most important thing I've learned from Albert Bandura, social learning theory is that that children learn not only from what teachers tell them, but also from what they see teachers and other people do. A teacher action can influence student behavior, attitudes, and motivation. This learning is important to me as a future teacher because I need to understand that I am also a role model for my students. If I show respect, patience, responsibility, kindness, and enthusiasm for learning, my student may also develop this positive behavior. Therefore, being a good teacher means not only teaching lesson, but also showing student through my own actions how to behave and learn. So that's all for today, Module 5 and 6. Hope you learned something in our discussion today. See you to next module class.